from Eretz Yisrael, Be'ezrat Hashem, especially with the return of a couple of hostages. B'sha'ah tova u'mutzlachat. So, I saw a very interesting question about this week's parasha. Chazal is saying, hold on. Chazal is teaching us that no one, was able to leave Mitzrayim. Right? Mitzrayim was a place, one way. You go in, you don't go out. Now, obviously we have to understand, what does that mean? What does that mean? You go in, you don't go out. So there is certain commentaries that explain, since there was so much magic going on over there, right? So they were able to block the people to go out, especially when it came to what? Right, Kishuv. Very good. That's one explanation. Others are explaining that the reason why people couldn't leave out, it's not that physically they couldn't leave. It was that the culture was so strong that they were still part of the culture of Mitzrayim. Once you went in, that culture became part of you. Now, we see Am Yisrael, they're not staying in Mitzrayim 1 year, they're staying how much? 210 years. Out of those 210 years, 80 years of hard labor, right? And at the end, the Torah is telling us that the Mitzrim, that the Yehudim got into the worst level of Tum'ah, which means, in 2 words, they got that culture of Mitzrayim built in inside them. Okay? To a point. So the question is, if that's what happened, how it's possible that they actually were able to leave Mitzrayim? What helped Am Yisrael to leave Mitzrayim? You're holding such a low level. You're holding such a culture and mentality that it's already built in inside you. By the way, okay, we're talking about generations after generations. You have already kids and grandkids and grandkids that are being born into that reality. Which means the boys that left Mitzrayim, they never saw what's the concept of not being part of the Egyptian culture. So the question is, how it's that possible? How it was possible to take them out from Mitzrayim, to release them from the Shi'abud? That's a question. So there is a Zohar HaKadosh that I want to read for you. Hold on. Zohar. Says the Zohar like this. The Zohar says, Amar Rabbi Shimon, Gedola Hibatan Shel Israel. Borei Olam loves so much Am Yisrael, שנגלה הקדוש ברוך הוא במקום עבודת כוכבים. The Borei Olam put his presence in a place of Avodah Zarah. And it says more than that. ובמקום תינופת ומקום טומאה בשביל לגאולה. He put it in the most lowest place possible. You go to the most Avera place, where you have all the Yetzer Hara and all the negative things. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu put his Shekhinah inside to take them out from Egypt. That's very nice. But why? Why Am Yisrael? Why Borei Olam decided that Am Yisrael deserves such an effort, so to speak, against what Borei Olam created in the world, that whenever there is Tum'ah, there is no Kedusha, whenever there is Kedusha, there is no Tum'ah. Suddenly Borei Olam is able to mix up these natural concepts just to save Am Yisrael from Egypt. Why? You're going to tell me promise? But Olam can say to Abraham Avinu, listen, I promised you, but you guys are not standing on your conditions. I promised you to take out Am Yisrael from Mitzrayim, but not at that point. Was there a choice of Am Yisrael if to follow the culture of the Egyptians? Rabotai, I saw a beautiful explanation that says like this. No. This is actually Rabbi Galinsky is bringing it down, and he says, before he said Mitzrayim, Am Yisrael, they had the mitzvah of one Pesach. Correct? We're going to be reading it this Shabbat. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says the following sentence. He says, Ve'atem, sorry, yeah, Ve'atem lo tetzeu ish mipetach beto ad boker, right? And you, no one of you should leave the door, your house, the door of your house until the morning. And then the mashchit, which means the negative, the damager will not be able to damage you. Says Rav Yaakov Galinsky, why Borei Olam needed to put Am Yisrael inside their homes? Kadosh Baruch Hu cannot protect Am Yisrael without putting them inside the houses? What are we talking about? We're talking about Makal Bechorot. Makal Bechorot, yes, we know. Borei Olam told them, listen, put some blood on the post doors, and that will protect you, and don't leave the house. I don't get it. We all know what the Midrash says. The Midrash writes that the Mitzrim, when they saw Am Yisrael putting the blood, they told the Jews, oh yeah, you think that you're going to be smarter than us? Our sons are going to sleep with you in the same beds. That's what the Midrash writes. So the Mitzrim forced the Jews to bring in the Bechorot inside their homes to sleep in the beds of the Jews that night. And then what happened? So the Midrash writes that in the morning, not even in the morning, at night, immediately Borei Olam killed all the Bechorim of Mitzrayim, right? And Am Yisrael, they were alive and well. So what was the point of putting Am Yisrael inside their homes? What was the point? Says Rabbi Yaakov Galinsky something unbelievable. The point was not for the miracle. The point of putting Am Yisrael inside the house was not for the miracle. The miracle will happen anyways. The point was for Am Yisrael themselves. That they should understand that you're different. You're not part of them. Put yourself inside your homes, which means gather yourself in your community. Be part of only yourself. Don't get mixed up with the Goyim. Understand that you have a unique role in life. Chazal is saying, the same way that Borei Olam told Am Yisrael to go inside their homes for Yetziat Mitzrayim, the same way Borei Olam is telling us before the final Geulah, put yourself inside your homes. Batei Knesiot, Batei Midrashot, places of Torah, places of Tefillah, that will gather you, separate you from the rest of the world, and that will help you for the final Geulah. Unbelievable. So what happened really in Yetziat Mitzrayim, to take Am Yisrael from the culture of Mitzrayim, you have to make a switch in their heads. It's not enough miracles. Miracles, you can take Am Yisrael physically out of Mitzrayim, but you have to take them mentally. How are you going to take them mentally? Separate yourself. The things that for the Goyim, it's Haz v'Shalom, you're killing our God. You're putting His blood in your house. You're separating yourself from the Mitzrim. Yes, that's what you do to be able to go now for the next step. It's going to be the step of getting released from that Egyptian culture to be able to be Oved Hashem. So I just heard that there was one of the boys that was in was one of the hostages. He was taken to Gaza. This boy was released now, right, a couple of months ago. This boy is a kibbutznik boy, right? They took him from his house the 7th of October. A boy, 13 years old boy. Baruch Hashem, he survived, and he was able to be released together with his brother. As soon as he get back to Israel, he asked one thing. He says, I want to put on tefillin. I want to put on my tefillin. So obviously, immediately, they organized it and they brought him tefillin and everything. And then he said, Baruch Hashem, this boy is having a lot of chizuk. He said, in Gaza, I understood that I was being taken because I'm a Jew. And because I'm a Jew, not because I'm Israeli, not because I'm pro-Palestine or not pro-Palestine, not because of my ideology, because who am I? I am a Jew. And if that's the reason why they took me inside Gaza, so I have to show that I'm not embarrassed of being a Jew. A boy of 13 years old. Rabotai, this boy, I forgot his name. This boy gathered his friends and he's teaching his friends what it means to be a Jew. Meaning to be a Jew means we're not exactly like the Goyim. We're different. How a guy told me, he said, I left Israel being Israeli, I came back being a Jew. What a powerful line. I left Israel being Israeli, I came back being a Jew. Sometimes we forget what's being a Jew. We have to remind ourselves. And I'm not talking only about people that are completely disconnected. Sometimes ourselves, we try to talk in a certain way, to dress in a certain way, to do certain things. And we know inside that's not us. That's not us. What made us unique is that we are unique. What made us unique is that we are all Lagoim. We're supposed to be the light, the example for all the rest of the nations. That example can be done only when you're gathered and you're part in Batei Knesiyot, Batei Midrashot. You have your place in your community, and then throughout that place you'll shine to all the rest of the world. So that's on that we should get that message in this week's parasha. We should be zochet that the same way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took out Am Yisrael from Egypt. This Shabbat, this parasha should be zochet to be taking out from Galut to גאולה שלמה, אמן כן יהי רצון. רבי חנניה בן הקדושה אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל לפיכך, כי לבן להם תורה מצוות שנאמר, אדוני חפץ למען צדקו, ידי תורה בידי.